Yeah, it's not the most exciting of updates. I'm going to be honest. Wasn't expecting too much anyway. Being the weekend on a Sunday, I wasn't really expecting there's going to be a great deal of movement West Ham wise in terms of transfers. But it has been, obviously, as we know, a pretty slow start to things. I talked about in the video previously. I feel like start of July, that'll probably be hopefully when we start seeing something happening. But look, I'm not going to be holding my breath at the moment. It's very difficult to do so, isn't it, at the moment, with the messages that continue to come out of the club being so negative. It just it's really I think having a real impact on the fan base as a whole, really. I think people are getting very frustrated. But at the same token, it's like you sort of think, look, it's still early in the window. I don't want to start throwing toys at the pram, getting too worried about things at the moment. I'm not feeling that worried. It's just more, just want to see things get moving forward. You know what I mean? But this video isn't about that. But if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. Really appreciate it. Also hit that like button because it helps us to, of course, grow and attract a new audience. We really appreciate it. This is about the kit, actually. So you're seeing the thumbnail from this video. There's you've got a home jersey and away jersey, sort of mock-up design. Now, it's come from ex-WHU employee that these are very, very close, actually, to the real deal of actually how the kits are going to be looking. So it's going to be sort of an all-claret sort of shirt, really, with a bit of blue trim, sort of V-neck design, quite sort of basic, really. It doesn't look too bad. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not really a big fan of the Boyle Sports, I'm going to be honest. The Boyle Sports are going to be our sponsor, as we know, for next season. I think £12 million a season deal, so it's only a 1-year deal. Of course, after that, I think they're expected to go over to the sleeve sponsor, then we get a new main sponsor. Now, there has been noises that could possibly be Amazon. Whether that's going to go through, I don't know exactly where that is at the moment, but there has been talk that could well be the case. They're hoping that's going to be sort of the next big sponsor. The thing that's really interesting is the kit manufacturer. So next season we've got Umbro, which I can't remember. I know it's the last year of their contract, but I don't know how many years now. They've been our manufacturing, haven't they, for quite a long period of time. And this will be kaput. This is their final seasons, and they will be going over to New Balance. I think it's quite telling that it's a US manufacturer. I do think that's got some significance in it in terms of West Ham and our future ownership and things like that. I do believe that. It does seem strange that we sort of, we look at the Brewdog sponsorship we've just done as well. The clubs of Brewdog are going to be providing, should I say, all the alcoholic beverages, non-alcoholic beers for the stadium from next season onwards. I think they've signed a 5-year deal. It seems quite coincidental, doesn't it, that all these seems to be US-based firms now that are tied into deals with West Ham. So yeah, next season will be New Balance. So it's going to be interesting, a big change and a bit of a freshen up to the design. The big one is, in terms of this kit though, is the away, which is the beige sort of kit. That's reminiscent. I think it was a 96-97 season we had at West Ham. It was back in Harry Redknapp era. Great times. Danny, do you remember Danny? I don't even remember him. He might not be been a fan at that time, but he'd been a bit too young for it. But I certainly remember him. He was the rather sort of Hollywood-esque looking lad that come and played for West Ham for a season. Yeah, and he was a decent player as well. You had him, and there was a few other players. We had Ian Bishop was playing at that time, Johnny Moncur and all that. It was Slaven Bilic, I believe, as well, wore that kit. It was around that time, so quite like that kit back in the day. But this kit is very, very similar to that. Sort of the nice collar, a darker blue, a bit of claret, and the beige kit. As I say, we don't know much about the shorts and socks, I will say that. Now, the away kit I'm not too fussed about, I've got to be honest. I imagine it'd be dark shorts and dark socks, I guess, with some claret. That's my guess. I think that's what they sort of originally put. I haven't shown that in that image, but I think that's what it's going to look like. But what's interesting is the home kit. So we don't know much about it, but I think the mock-ups have shown blue shorts and claret socks. I really don't like this blue shorts thing. I really just don't like it. It did go on me when we had it last night a little bit, but I would rather, if they're going to have the claret socks right, I still think you've got to keep the white shorts. But for me, I always think it should be white and white. I'd like to know your thoughts. I mean, I know we ain't got much else to talk about, so let's talk about kits. I think that'll keep us happy, wouldn't it? It'll perk us up for Sunday, ahead of going back to work and everything else. So look, that's all we've got at the moment. That's where we are, the kits. And by the way, interesting enough, they're expecting, I believe, to be releasing the kit next week. That's not 100% confirmed yet, but I think it's going to be officially, revealed next week, because the deal with Betway expires on the 30th of June, and then we go into the new Boyle Sport starts from the 1st of July. So I believe that's when it's going to be announced. They've done the recording of the promo and all that, which has got current players, youth players, and some previous players as well. I think some from the women's team, very similar to last time, I think. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I've always think it's even regards to even West Ham being a bit crap, I can't help. I'm still a football fan. I've still got that young kid inside, that feeling of just like loving that feeling of football and new season and still dreaming and all that. And I'm always a bit like that. And the new kits always kind of get me feeling that and getting a little bit excited for the new season, even though I'm feeling a bit, like many, a little bit apprehensive and a little bit anxious because of the fact that it's such a big summer and we seem to be treading water a little bit, don't we, as a football club? But look, that's not to say things won't happen and start kicking on soon. Also, just another little bit of news, the Lucas Paqueta situation. Hopefully we should get movement on that from next week. So hopefully then that will hopefully kickstart things. We know where we are with him. There's talk about Saudi clubs are keen on him and could possibly be putting a move in for him, £30 million deal. Look, I love Lucas Paqueta. I really do. I know he's had his moments as a West Ham player, but I think overall he's a stunning player. I'd like to keep him. I will say though, has been in regards to him, there was reports suggesting that he was pushing for a move back to Brazil for Mengo, which I wouldn't be surprised that he was, but apparently it's been denied that he's not pushing for a move at all. Obviously, I think he's open to things, but he's actually he's not going to push out of a move out of West Ham. Apparently, he loves West Ham, loves the fan base, and he's got no issue if he has to stay and play. So it could well be that we've got Lucas Paqueta next season. And talking to people that know him, this isn't through the channels of X or anything like that. It's just people that I know. They wouldn't be surprised to see him stay next season. So look, it might not be completely certain that he's going. So that'll be an interesting one. But obviously, a lot depends on how this hearing works out with the FA. Now, I'd love to be able to say, look, this is when it's going to come out. I mean, how many times they knocked this date back? It's been an absolute disgrace. But look, that's another video for another time. So yeah, next week should be getting the home kit coming out. So at least it's something to look forward to, I guess. But look, have a good one. Take care, and I'll hopefully have some bit more juicy information when it comes to transfers in the next video. But have a good one. Take care, and come on your ones.